Is there any way to like turn off hype train stuff on Twitch? Never really looked into it, but I don't know, it feels so out of place on a channel like mine where I'm very much, you know, I'm not exactly here to pay the bills or become a millionaire by any stretch. I'm here because I very much enjoy playing this game, and getting to do so while chatting with lovely folks just makes it that much more special. As I recently, it was like last tax season that I think I had to go through something, and when I think one of the clarifying questions was like, are you self-employed or do you have your own business? And I did do that awkward, like, I think maybe technically, I mean, I'm definitely not an employee of Twitch. I technically make some money, because they're like, okay, so how much money do you make? And I'm like, probably like $5 a month, if that. That seems even a bit generous in rounding. And then their next follow-up question is that your main source of income? And I think I audibly just burst out with something like, I sure hope not. Are you kidding me? for the love of the game, speech again, coach. Oh yeah, I mean, until the end of time itself, or until I get popular and I'm like, just kidding, I wanted to be a streamer the whole time, you fools. Tricked you into fulfilling my dreams. But yes, independent contractor, exactly. Though now that actually is what I do, so feels a bit less tongue-in-cheek. I'm just a weird type of contractor where I do like web app development, and I also do Twitch streaming. All very important contract work, of course. Is my auto pickup is still all messed up from our invisible buddies earlier, so that's why things were a bit out of line there, but no real issues. And now we're at least kind of reducing a lot of these encounters to something a little bit more on the manageable side. Oh, the spears, man. Okay, do I actually have any better options? I mean, nothing that checks willpower is ever really a great idea against your Spriggan pals. But I could take one step away, and I can blast you kiddos with one of those. And then take a step away, and rinse and repeat. And not too shabby at all. Yeah, let's definitely head back to our little trapdoor stairwell, at least to heal up before we continue diving deeper into the uncertainties of life, the universe, and everything here. Chalfamadorian, you're a consultant software guy too, cloud architecture in your case. Oh, cool. That's something that I wish I had a better grasp on. I feel like a lot of the more like operational side of things is probably where one of my greatest blind spot lies. I'm very much like, I feel the most comfortable being ankle deep in code itself. So I have a lot of appreciation for what you do and your ability to understand a lot of those systems. Because I can kind of fumble my way through, you know, like AWS configurations and whatnot. I guess the one fortunate side of that is that I've never worked at a company that had a dedicated DevOps team, and so that has kind of by necessity forced me to at least get a baseline understanding, which I'm very grateful to have. Right, I never really looked closer at this ring. Negativity resistance, poison resistance, meh. Evasion is okay. Nah, that's probably not much for me. You used to do full stack web dev and gradually transitioned to the DevOps and site reliability stuff now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I very much came into it very kind of tunnel vision and focused on back-end development, and then I've over the years definitely leaned a bit more towards the full stack side. if not in my abilities, at the very least in my interests. Because I know I have a hard time like always telling other people that they need to like fix this, fix that. Oftentimes I want to, at the very least, if I'm gonna complain about an issue, I want it to be useful feedback, right? I want to be like, oh hey, I noticed, I was able to look into your code and notice like this is a misassigned variable, what have you. So that's where it started at for me wanting to learn, and then I just happened to work on some projects that over the course of their development, it was like, oh, we actually really need to incorporate whatever language or framework into this project. So maybe we'll need to find someone for that. And I like to be the one that will just volunteer. Hey, I'll try to learn it. And generally it goes out all right for me. But yeah, my most recent one there is I just started learning like some React and more front-end development. So I'd only done kind of back-end driven front-end stuff before, your like Razor Pages MVC type stuff. Which, yeah, a bunch of inside baseball for anyone who's not in the development business, trade. There's probably a better label for this that my mind is blanking on. I apologize for the inside baseball, but I don't know. I can definitely drone on about a lot of that stuff for more time than I probably should, so I won't bore your ears off. Unless people really want to... Do people love getting the nitty-gritty? I mean, that's the thing. I make these comments and I kind of dismiss my own I know, interests in what I like to talk about, knowing full well that if it were me on the other side, I would have no problem. I really like learning about people's jobs. There's a trend that I mean, resurfaces just every once in a while, and it has lots of different forms. The basic premise is just coming up with presentations to give to each other. So within your friend group, you decide on some kind of like theme or anything like that, and you just decide for this hangout session, for this party, we're just going to give presentations to each other. And I know one of the common ones for that was doing a presentation on what you do, because so many of us don't actually really know what even their closest friends do on like a day-to-day. You know, what is the nitty-gritty of your job? And I definitely always have been drawn to that type of thing. I don't know, I think that it's a very useful perspective to have. I mean, not just from the idea of like, I know I like to learn stuff, and so any opportunity to do so, I will almost always gladly jump at. But even beyond that, I feel like, oopsie daisies, things are getting pretty crazy in our swamp here. As I completely distract myself away from the point. I don't know, I go back and forth, not to completely derail that train of thought, except totally to do that, because I'm about to. But I have a bad time with the push and pull of streaming and loving to go on these like tangents and ramble. Again, give me a reason to talk, and I won't shut up until the end of time itself, instead of the heat death of the universe. But so oftentimes that would mean like stopping what I'm doing in the game and just chatting. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, do people like that? Would people prefer that there's at least something going on because you're more interested in the game than any kind of cult of personality that I fail to manifest? Who's to say? Maybe people don't even listen to what I say and just appreciate some, I don't know, more primordial desire to just hear voices in the background, which totally fair. I think that is, again, a huge part of my enjoyment of entertainment media, at least content creation. So I can't exactly hate it. Okay, there's a swamp worm now. I'm actually going to take a break from swamp. It's either spider or actually probably orc is the better bet here. Also check in on our time. I think we will be calling it I mean, relatively soon. We'll see how long I can kind of stick to it here. Or I guess more accurately, how long I can convince myself to ignore all the other important things that I should probably be doing. And keep enjoying both the game and having a soapbox to ramble on. You know, I make a lot of dismissive jokes about my apparent desire to always hear myself speak, but I don't think it's so much that I like to hear myself speak at this point, and it's more so a case of I'm incapable of shutting my mouth. And so here we are. Don't like the sound of my own voice? I just like using my own voice, I think, is the long and short of it. Okay, looks like we have gotten stairs sorted, which is fantastic, because I would like to get back into, perfect, our regular Orc 1. I feel like that's something that happens fairly rarely in the game, that you actually get a random teleport effect and end up stranded on some far side of Orc here, of Orc 1 I should specify. And yet here we are, but not too shabby, pulling through in one piece. And do you want, as part of that, let's play this safe and just spread out these sons of guns a little bit. That's a good quality for a streamer to have, you think? I hope so. And I could see it going the other way. It's either going to give you some amount of success, whatever that looks like for you and kind of what you're aiming for by starting to stream, or it is the nail in the coffin, 100% you're screwed. Because by some miracle, my own opinion and thoughts on my voice have not translated to others, and I've received some positive feedback in that regard. Because I can imagine it very easily could have gone the other way, where I'm just absolutely unlistenable, which is what I would have said from the get-go. Don't get it twisted. Especially, I think there's I've gone over that a little bit, right? When you watch a lot of your own content for editing or for cutting up videos, or really just for any reason you're forced to listen to yourself speak, a lot of that grating feeling goes away. Where it still is very present for me is it was, I think, a few years back now that I found an old home video that was me at my cousin's house. I think I was playing with a Beyblade or something, and I was just, talking off the dome. And as I was listening to this 11-year-old me talk, all I could think was and people hung out with me, my cousins were my friends. I sounded like this all the time. I was that annoying. Consistently, you're saying. But I don't know. I guess there are lots of factors in play with the kind of psychology of your own voice and things of that matter. But I don't think I've gone over that part of it. I think listening to young me talk is still a bit of a trip, especially since I don't think I had the, say what you will, maybe my voice is grating or the most annoying thing you've ever heard. That's very subjective to each in every individual person's experiences and how they even just what they're looking to enjoy. But what I do feel fairly confident with is my my flow. It's why I'm able to talk so long without shutting up, because even though it is oftentimes nonsensical, or I'm throwing out words that shouldn't be used in certain contexts, or just are incorrect to use in a certain context, I at least can kind of keep the ball rolling here. I mean, it helps that I talk a little slower. I do lots of pauses in my speech, and that gives my brain a lot of catch-up time to be oh crap, there's nothing on the output belt. We need words. Bring the words down from the back. And then just something comes out. But I think that was a quality that I didn't have at all as a kid. And so I think I just Not only was I annoying, but I also had a very disjointed way of speaking. I mean, I don't know how accurate any of this is. I'm kind of coming up with my opinion on the spot as we speak, but nonetheless, I think a lot of the core principles hold true. And the important thing to take away from this all is that I'm annoying as hell, brother. And some things only seem to change and never really do, or something. I don't know what I'm going for. I don't pretend to understand my own inclinations when it comes to mental faculties and the lack thereof. Okay, gotta kill the summoner. Perfect. Then we can definitely bring this stupid bat all the way back into the mix of things here. As long as none of the sorcerer's summons have any flying capabilities, then we should be alright. Tuck ourselves into a corner. In fact, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to take a sip of my drink, because that's the thing. When I don't have like constant near-death experiences and downtimes in the game, or when I'm in a chatty mood and I just want to talk about whatever stupid stuff is coming up on the dome here, that's when I'm definitely worse for not taking sips of my drink, which I should. Because I'm pretty sure my body exists in a state of perpetual dehydration. And one of these days, I will look to re-explore better habits when it comes to self-care and a lot of those things. Not today, let's not be crazy, but someday, I like to imagine. We shall see, I guess, what the fates have in store for me in that regard. Okay, love that the devil there couldn't fly. Fantastic. And definitely a very mage-centric end here. Hello, Nergal. You shouldn't be an issue. You can paralyze, though on the other hand, my ogre mage, buddy, old pal, friend of mine, at the very least, I think we can set ourselves up on a corner. Nope. Okay, some demons are coming in. Okay, if I can take out the summoner in good time. Oh, and then there's something invisible. That's probably the ogre magi now that I think about it. Paralyze me now, dumbass. In fact, let's just back away and fully heal up, shall we? Okie dokie. I think one of the main, like, anxiety points I still have when it comes to my rambling style of speaking is that I think, or I worry at least, that I'm constantly leaving threads hanging. And I think that that is just true to a certain extent. I mean, I have vague recollection of some topics from just like 20 minutes ago that fall victim to exactly that. But unfortunately, I don't know how much progress we're going to be making on that within the next like 5 minutes here. And so instead, unless I have somebody to assist me, dropped narrative lines and thought tangents are unfortunately just a byproduct of the gig here. The hell, brother? Okay, willpower can change out for protection. And with that, 9% chance for banishment. I mean, it's not horrible. I do have to take care of the summoner first. Which, you know, that's just fingers crossed Elroka doesn't completely ruin the day while we're attempting to do so, but that's fine. I guess with that previous topic in mind, do people find it drives them up the wall when streamers don't finish their train of thought? Is it something that's just natural to the business? I know for somebody, you know, I have a very much casual enjoyment with content creation, or at least kind of imbibing it. I do enjoy watching others, and again, I constantly need to have something going on especially when I'm like doing chores around the house or anything like that. But I still find myself to be by and large fairly blind to a a lot of the specifics of what the people want and all that good stuff. For what it's worth, you enjoyed the stream of conscious style? I would hope so, yeah. Otherwise, that subscription was a mistake, my friend. Because that's definitely what, at least to a certain point, what you're getting into on our stream here. Sure, I'll buy some invisibility just to take up a slot, or to add another kind of option to our consumable list here, I think. But no, I guess just my kind of snarky initial comment aside, I do appreciate that for sure. And I appreciate that you're not alone out there. I mean, I think I'm in a similar boat as well. I definitely enjoy the stream of consciousness style. It's something that I've always aspired to be able to do to a certain competency as well. I don't think I've necessarily achieved that, but it is something that I at least try to like emulate and give the same effect of, because I think I'm the same way, where that is what I enjoy. And I think that there's a certain, I don't know, maybe a like lack of guard walls, right? Because either the person who's doing stream of consciousness is either unable to be that dishonest in their representation of their thoughts and feelings, or they're so good at doing so that doesn't even really matter at that point. And let's be clear, I mean, I like to joke that I'm a mastermind and that I have all these machinations going on. I'm not smart enough to put on a consistent act like that, and so by and large it's a bit more, yeah, on the kind of raw side, I guess. Though I think that goes hand in hand with maybe an inability to 100% take things at face value when they're said, because oh me oh my, even with my inability to remember what I've said throughout the course of a stream, because yeah, I'm just flying out by the seat of my pants here. I have no idea what's coming next, and I have no idea what came before it either. But even with that in mind, I can still fairly confidently say that I think I'm guilty of saying things that I am not 100% sure on whether I like think or mean them all the time. And not just streaming. I think that's true of me as a person as well, for better and definitely for worse. I think that I will oftentimes make statements that aren't representative of I guess like the base feelings behind them. I don't know if that's a very accurate way to assess what I'm aiming for here, but I think that's the best I got at the moment. So it is what it is. Please don't step me out of here in my confusion, please and thank you. Okay, jumping spider coming around the outside, It's not grand for us by any means, but I guess as we just witnessed there, not the end of the world either, so it is what it is.